harming him, but I can see why it should be. He's got too many good things to say. These are good for Jennifer and Jason. We're going to sing all of the verses. You can't leave any out.
And as we come to this time of reflection, I am also humbled and in awe by exactly what this occasion is recognizing. We have entered into this space in worship through celebration of our country and remembering with loving mourning those who have given all, that we may live in freedom and in our responsibility that we have because of that freedom. But we are also here to recognize and celebrate the calling of Jennifer to the military chaplaincy. Thus, as we turn to the Gospel of John, chapter 15, there is one verse today that I wish to highlight for a few moments on. This is my commandment, that you love one another, as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. As we continue in our honoring those who have served and have given all in this service, as well as receiving Jennifer's call into the military chaplaincy, these words from the Gospel, according to John, are appropriate because they highlight the two ways in which we can lay down one's life. The importance of ministry and service lies in what it demands. And as Jesus has pointed out, this is love. It is a love that reaches beyond surface feelings to a definition that encompasses the sacrificial element of love. Love is the sacrifice of laying down one's life. Though we know the cost of a life of service might be the life itself, our prayers are that as we prepare to meet this cost, it is never the one that is demanded, a prayer that we pray in earnest every day. But there is another element of sacrificial love in this passage. It is the laying down of one's life continually and daily through one's regular work. And in the case of the minister and chaplain, the work to be fully present with God and God's people, wherever that may take them. This is the role of the military chaplain, to live a life that is with soldiers and their families, to be present with them as they face joys, trials, and the mundane daily life, to recognize this element of laying down one's life and characteristic of ministry. It helps if we look at the whole gospel, but particularly the rest of chapter 15. We see that, of course, over the course of the gospel, this part that we're at, Jesus is getting ready to say farewell to his disciples as he approaches his time of crucifixion. But it's also been after years of doing his ministry, of traveling, preaching, of healing, and being with those he is serving. And this time, he appoints his disciples to this holy commandment of to love. And it's interesting because another way to translate appoint here is commission. And I thought that was rather appropriate for today. As Jesus commissioned the disciples, so we stand to witness as Jennifer is commissioned in her duties. Jesus, explaining to the disciples this call, sets it, of course, as he typically does, in the form of a metaphor. He chooses the vine and the branches, and he talks to the disciples saying, "Abide in me, as I abide in you. Just as the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me." For people of faith, this is a call to remain rooted in God's love and presence through Christ. This love, which is so rooted, is what enables us to go forth to do ministry in times when we are weak and weary, or if we think, oh boy, we have more paperwork at our desk, and I really just want to get this sermon done. This is the love that will sustain all of us and will sustain Jennifer as she goes about her task. But as Jesus is talking to the disciples, he knows that this is the love that will sustain them until he returns. For you see, Jesus is the vine, and the disciples are the branches, and the fruit that they bear is ministry. So, as we turn to look at military chaplaincy, we can see that it is a branch off of the true vine of Christ, a branch whose fruit is ministry. And these are the chaplains and pastors chosen to go where many others cannot go to minister, to be with those in the military and serve them in places where it's quite easy to forget and to wonder and to lose hope and faith, to be there in those darkest times and also greatest joys. So therefore we see to lay down one's life means to walk in the shoes of those to whom you are ministering. An army chaplain takes on the life of a soldier in order to fulfill the minister's commission of going forth and laying down one's life. They understand that in order to best serve those in the military, they have to understand the life. They have to deploy. They have to live with and take thread with them. And to go through the struggles so that they might understand the struggles they face after their return. So we see ministry as a ministry of presence. Simply being there and knowing, I can help you. I can be there when you don't know what to do. They speak, chaplains, they speak as God's love to not only the soldiers but their families. And standing and remind them that deployment's in, there's beauty in life, and on those dark days that we pray never come, stand with them as we say goodbye. And even as they do all of this, they somehow manage to get, as I've discovered in my seminary years, the incredible amount of paperwork done that comes with the pastor. So, as you go about this, Jennifer, as a colleague, I will definitely keep you in my prayers. I've had the pleasure and the honor of getting to know Jennifer over the course of the last year of Vanderbilt Divinity, where we are both students, she in her first year, and I in my last. And her energy, I will admit, has given me the strength to get through the final leg of this journey on more than one occasion. Meeting in a class for Baptist history, we would sit and joke and talk, both of us discussing our passion to help those in the military and to serve them. She's always eager to offer words of encouragement and balances my cynicism that way. She's also always eager to offer prayer, or to go with you to get a cup of coffee, or to help you study. In every way, in joys and trials and in the mundane life of studying, she's been there. And by this, I know she will do the exact same and grow and continue to be a more fantastic chaplain throughout the years. And I look forward to seeing this. So, as I say that, I am more than happy to recognize and stand with Jennifer as she takes on the role of military chaplain. The chaplain, which is part of the vine, the branch that bears God's love to a place where it may not be readily apparent. Their service bears the fruit of God's love in all tasks, mundane and daily paperwork, sermons, conversations, and camaraderie with the soldiers they serve, and being present as a guide and spiritual leaders in the times of great joy and great loss. This is the calling we recognize in Jennifer today, a calling that involves a lifetime of laying down her talents, spiritual gifts, time, and work in order to minister to and live with the soldiers and families who protect our nation and our freedom. And in that, Jennifer, I say God bless you.